Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
We're back on Thursdays.
This is the day we used to drop.
I know. Well, we've always said Fridays, but then
We drop Thursday night.
we drop Thursday night. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. So, we have a new giveaway. And even though we said that we're doing more small business stuff, we have so much stuff in the house that we already had that we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on Q Party of Two, who won the Magic Crown.
Yes. The Fantasyland.
And we're going to be
Crown.
doing another crown next month.
Yeah.
But this month, we are going to be giving away. I have two, what I consider, well, we're only going to give away one this month, but I have two, what I consider really ugly Loungefly backpacks.
Don't say ugly.
In my opinion. I know. No. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And this one is in the eye of Maleficent. So if you want Maleficent staring at everyone who's looking at your backside, this one is for you. It is a Maleficent Loungefly Sleeping Beauty backpack. It has Maleficent horns and her eyes and her hands.
Her
and
hands are holding Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping
Aurora.
Beauty.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's holding on to Aurora. Sleeping.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, this one isn't even the ugly one. Like, I have an atrocious one.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's so
Almost want to keep
bad. And it's not tacky bad. It's just like, I don't understand why they made it. But I don't even know if I'm going to do it as a giveaway or some special giveaway. I may even take a poll on what to do with it. But the reason that Tracy, I had put the kibosh on Sippers and Popcorn Bucket is because, one, we have a bunch of those, and two, we have a lot of other stuff. I had to get rid of stuff. What?
We don't have the ones I want. We only have like...
You bought all of those.
Yeah, no, you bought the ad. I mean, I'll give away the ad, and then
Well, that's mine. That's the one that I have.
Fine.
And
I want.
so I got to get away. I got to get away
training.
a lot of the stuff in our little place. And for those of you who we met through podcast Mics for Magic, all our new friends.
Yeah, I've been buying a bunch of
Yeah, it's your fault.
magic moms with magic crowns. I have a bunch of crowns. I have
Yeah.
a lot of Elisa's Bashly Ever After Co bracelets.
Yeah.
And I'm buying more. And then
So we got to make a decision here. We got to it's got to be Disney or them. And so they're our friends. Then we got to put a kibosh on the whole
but
Disney
their stuff
popcorn
doesn't
bucket.
take up much space. And I wear them.
I know you wear them, but everything takes up space. That's physics.
No.
When you have a limited
Popcorn
space.
bucket does take space, so I see why I can't get them. But
Yeah.
in 10 years, you're going to regret that I didn't get the train popcorn bucket.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Or the hat box ghost or whatever.
Whatever. Exactly. So, we already did a post, a reel, and a story of the Maleficent Loungefly backpack for the August giveaway. This one is ending on August 26th, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And all you have to do, as usual, is answer a question and send us your answer via Facebook, Instagram, using direct message, or our email, which is info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. And for every, medium you use, you get an additional entry, so you can have up to 3 entries if you use all 3. And the question for August is, if you had to seek revenge on someone, or if you wanted to seek revenge on someone, which Disney villain would you use to carry out your plans? Or maybe just leave it up to them. What Disney villain would you use to carry out revenge? So this is a Tracy question.
No, it's not. You made it up.
I made it up because it exemplifies you.
No,
You're an angry person.
no, I have no villain to use because I don't wish to seek revenge on anybody.
Yeah, that's what a villain would say. That's what Palpatine would say. So any Disney villain, when I say Disney, I'm talking about every Disney universe. It could be Disney, like Maleficent. It could be Star Wars. It could be Marvel. I don't care.
Captain America.
That's your villain?
Yes.
You would use him to seek revenge on someone?
Yes. Because he wouldn't do it because he's so self-righteous and all this stuff.
Whatever. That's like one of those people that politicians or or people who are at job interviews. It's like, well, give me something that's a fault of yours. It's like, I work too hard.
Yeah.
Whatever. Trust me, Tracy has a list of people.
I don't have a list. I don't hate anybody. Nobody's done anything bad to me that
that's what
requires
makes it worse.
revenge.
No, I don't think anyone's done anything bad to you either. So that's why I'm wondering
why
why you have a list.
I don't have a list.
Oh boy. All right. So yeah, again, that ends on August 26th. And we will be back at the parks this Saturday.
Yay.
And that means we still have a wallet giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one has gotten our Minnie Mouse Kate Spade card wallet yet. So we'll be again staying at Paradise Pier.
Well, because it's still 90 degrees.
I know. I keep giving into it. I am like,
and you don't want a rope drop.
Well, yeah. I mean, rope dropping doesn't change the heat.
No, it does because we used to go in the morning, and go back and sleep when it's really hot, and then come back in the evening.
I would do the same thing. It's just farther to walk. So, but this was a kind of a funny story. So, just to wrap up the wallet thing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. We're staying at Paradise Pier.
Stayed at Paradise Pier, and the only reason I mention that when I talk about the wallet thing is because that's Disney property. So if you see us even at the hotel, downtown Disney, either park, that's Disney property. You can come up if you're the first ones to do so, and you can snatch that wallet. But we weren't going to stay at Paradise Pier this weekend, and we were going to stay at the end of the month on the 26th, I believe. But I was just like, man, it's going to be hot again. And so when I was looking, and everything was super expensive, all the prices.
Yeah,
all
we
the
don't know
hotel.
what was going on.
Something's going on because it's like, we looked at Paradise Pier, and the only one available was like a $2,000 super suite or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I ain't doing that, definitely.
Yeah.
And so, and then I just kept checking because, we always tell people, we tell people, always doesn't matter what it is. Carthay reservations for anything, even stuff outside of Disney. I always keep checking because any business wants to fill their spots, whatever they're selling. And if somebody cancels, they're going to try to fill it. They're not going to keep it like vacant when they can make money off of it. So always continue to check. And so we did that. And then this one came up that was like
a premium view.
It was a premium view. It was like $590, and I was just like, okay. Maybe. And so I was just like, man, this heat is beating me down. So tried to get it.
Saved it to your cart.
Disney Tech strikes again, man. I tried to get
saved it to your cart.
Saved it to the cart. Went all the way to continue.
And then you logged in. It made you log in.
Oh, that's the first time.
Yeah.
And then
it disappears. And we're like,
and it's gone.
And we figured, maybe someone just snatched it up or something.
Yeah.
This was on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then, and so then, I keep checking, and then you see stuff at, I think the cheapest one at like
Disneyland Hotel
was like $700 something. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that.
We almost.
Yeah, I was like, nah. Whatever.
Yeah, then we changed our mind. I got all the way to check out, and I was like, forget it.
Yeah.
Not worth it, because we wanted to stay in DCA, near DCA, In Disneyland Hotel, you're not near anything, and the monorail's down, so you're
And
really
it's
not near
it's
anything.
it's a lot of money for what? It's like, and I like Paradise Pier, and the one reason we stay at Paradise Pier, well, one of the reasons that we want to, because the pool just opened up,
Oh yeah, the pool.
and so we really like our little nieces to come, me and Emmy, and to enjoy the pool. And now it's like a whole Finding Nemo theme.
Yeah.
So that's like half of it.
Yeah.
It's like it's for the whole family to enjoy. So it's not just about us. It's like we really enjoy it when we just see them having a crazy good time over a pool, which I never did as a kid. But but then I kept checking, and then all of a sudden, even a cheaper one than the first one shows up. It was like $400 something, and I was like, "Oh, we got to get that." Boom, and then I get all the way. The green continue button doesn't move. It doesn't click.
Yeah, you add to your cart and then you continue, and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
And then
I even took a little video of it. It's like
I tried it, and I was like, "What?" And
Then I
then
said,
there's a
"Try it on
little
the
chat
computer."
button.
yeah,
Yeah, I tried on computer.
didn't work there.
Nothing. Then there's a little chat button that says, and I remember once when, long time ago, the first time we tried to get Star Wars night tickets and I couldn't, and then it sold out. And then I called and I said, nah, I complained. And then there's like, well, there's a chat button. Next time, just hit that and someone will help you. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. Okay, so this time I hit the chat button. And then the chat button says, please call this number for help
That was
with
the
your
chat button.
travel plans or whatever. Like it's some bot saying it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So I called and she did help me. She's really nice. The cast member helped me make the reservation. It was there.
Yeah.
It's just
It was in
somehow
our
you
cart.
can't
Yeah,
do
it's just
anything.
Stupid. Yeah, Disney's tech, man. It's like, yeah, Apple, please buy them. Because, yeah, like the tech people at my company are superior to Disney. I work for a tiny company. My company has like 3,000 people. So, and they're like, I have a problem with my computer or something, and I'm calling people in, LA or New Jersey, and they get it done like right then, like 15 minutes fixing.
Yeah.
Like
No, but
computer
what's
problems.
funny is that the first time you couldn't get it, but then the next day they send you an email and they're like, oh, there's stuff in your cart. Would you like to continue, or something? Like that you left something in your cart,
Yeah.
but when you click on it, your cart is empty. But then I booked the room when I called the person, and I still got the email the next day. It says, oh, would you like to continue? It looks like you left something in your cart. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
They're so funny. They're tech. Anywho.
I don't know, man. I'm beginning to believe that their magic bands are real magic, because if there was tech, it wouldn't work.
Because it's like RFID, so that's like the
No, I'm
lowest
not-
tech, right? Their magic band.
No, I think it's real pixie dust. I think that's the only thing that works at Disney. I think they have half the stuff that's tech and half the stuff that's magic. The magic stuff works. The stuff that's actual tech doesn't. That's the only thing. I think that's what it is.
Stuff that requires pixie dust works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only explanation. All right. So, but yes, we will be at Disney. If you are going to be at Disney, or if you have friends who are going to be at Disney, send them after us. We'll be posting our locations throughout the day. And somebody snatched that wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do we got in headlines?
So Donald Glover and his brother Stephen Glover is going to write the Star Wars Lando series for Disney Plus. So originally it was Justin Simon. He exited as the showrunner. So it was first announced as in development as part of 2020 Disney Investor Day. So at the time, the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, shared that the series will be developed by the same director as Haunted Mansion, which is Justin Stephen. But I guess he left, and Donald and Stephen Glover will be the showrunners now.
Well, Donald Glover's super talented. So he did Atlanta. He's done stuff that's like award winning. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very much you know, a prodigy talent because I mean he was talented and young. I like his story too because he was on Community.
SNL?
No, he wasn't on SNL.
Oh, but it was Tina Fey that.
No, but Tina Fey discovered him.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
not discovered him. I think he was already on Community, and then he was doing something in Tina Fey. I don't know if she was a producer on Community. I don't know exactly how it happened, but she was just like, she heard him like kind of just rapping, messing around
Mhm.
backstage, and she's like, "You need to take this big, and you need to do this, you need to do this," and then, yeah, he just blew up. Like he's just this multi-talented guy. So, since he's already played Lando,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of obviously we're going to imagine the same character, but so I don't think he has to do. He doesn't have to get into character. You
Yeah.
know, he's going to know what it's about. A lot of people didn't like Solo, but a lot of people didn't like Solo because it came after The Last Jedi, and there was this big Last Jedi backlash against
Yeah.
everything Star Wars. So I don't think that movie got a fair shot because I think it came out like 2 months exactly.
Yeah, it came out at an odd
Like
time too, like
February.
in May or
I
February.
think it
Yeah,
was like February,
and
then,
usually it's December that Star
well,
Wars movies
because
comes
The
out.
Last Jedi came out in December, and then
Oh.
that came out in February, and it was such a backlash against Star Wars after The Last Jedi that a lot of people just said, "I'll pass."
Yeah,
And
and
it
then
was
they
just
were
like-
competing against themselves because Infinity War came out that year.
Yeah, Infinity War coming out like a few months after that. So, I mean, it's. I liked Solo.
I
I think it
liked
was it was a good movie, and I don't think there was anything wrong with it. You know, it's kind of how I feel about Dial of Destiny, which we'll be talking about at the end of the episode in our spoiler review. Don't worry, we'll give you guys time to cut out for those of you who don't want to be spoiled. But
Mhm.
we believe in real spoilers, so we will be giving away a giveaway with every spoiler
Yes.
review. All right, but yeah, I think that's a cool thing. I have faith in the guy, so yeah, cool beans.
Okay, so there's some business news here. It's rumored that Kevin Meyer and Tom Staggs will return as advisors to Bob Iger
Mm-hmm.
on TV strategy. So if you remember, Meyer and Staggs were both popular picks to replace Iger in the first round,
Mm-hmm.
but then he passed over them, leading to Chapek.
Mm-hmm.
And so the two are like, I forget it. We're going to leave Disney and start our own company called media company called Candle Media.
Mhm.
And then this time around, you know, not this time around, but when Chapek was kind of having trouble, there were rumors that they were coming back as CEO, but they didn't want. Disney would have to buy out the Candle Media company in order for them to come back to be executives.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're like, oh, never mind. So now there's rumors that they are coming back as advisors to Iger, and they
Yeah.
might be the next. One of them might be the next
Yeah,
CEO.
that's
I mean, if Iger ends up selling parts of TV assets like ABC and stuff like that, I think they may just buy out Candle
Yeah.
Media. That way, they can handle the
a lot of the transitions,
Yeah.
a lot of the transactional stuff. Yeah. I think that it's a good idea from what I heard about these guys. These guys are actually really cool. I think anybody who's had a corporate job has seen or experienced people who are probably the most qualified for something and got passed over.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a tribute to Iger that he's able to get guys like that back because they don't really need to work for Disney. You
Yeah.
know, these guys are their own bosses, and they, you know, I'm sure they're not broke. So I think that, and they left on their own. So it's not like, you know, they needed jobs. They're fully confident in themselves. So the fact that you can get those back, and they're very entrepreneurial minded, and to get entrepreneurs back is hard because they got egos. They got like, this is our vision. This is what we're doing. So that's really what Iger's strength is to convince people of things. And he's and actually when you think about what leadership is, that's all leadership is convincing people, right? It's like getting things done through the tricks and trades of personality, through whether it's charisma, whether it's the way you talk, whether it's how you it's not that you have better information than the next guy, it's how you present that information. I did a presentation today at work about how to have difficult conversations, and it's an art. It's an art form.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's for the people who don't like Iger. I mean, I always like people or respect people for doing what they're supposed to do, and and what they are, right? I don't. Do I like Jeff Bezos? I don't know, but I don't know the guy. Do I think Amazon does some horrible things with its workers and stuff? Yeah, but do I like what he's done with logistics? Do I like the fact that he started in a basement and built his company into to what it is? And do I use Amazon all the time? Yes, and so I can respect the game. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I necessarily have to agree with everything that person does. So I think Iger is brought into for his influence and to get things done. And am I a fan of Iger? No, I don't know if I would call myself a fan, but I respect the guy, and I think that there's probably not too many people who could run Disney. And I've always said that. And I think him bringing these guys back is a smart move. And it's also a move that a lot of people wouldn't make just because of ego. It's like I passed these guys up and, and I put in somebody and the guy that I put in failed. There's a lot of people in the world that'd be like, they wouldn't want to admit their failure, number one. And then bringing these guys back is affirming that failure.
Right.
Like that, not a failure, but a bad decision, which was Chapek, right? And so for him to be like, well, maybe I made a mistake. Let me go back and correct it with these guys. Maybe they were the right guys after all. That's leadership. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's leadership. And that's what Disney needs. And if until they can find someone better, you remember like Starship Troopers? It's like, am I your guy? It's like, yeah, until you die or I find someone better, That's kind of how I feel about Iger, So, all right, what's next?
So the Walt Disney Company and NBC Universal are both keeping an eye on this New York legislation that would stop them from using a tax break if they used AI in place of film and TV workers. So both companies have hired lobbyists to monitor this bill. It's Senate Bill 7422, sponsored by New York State Senator, a Democrat. The bill prohibits applicants of the Empire State Film Production Credit from using artificial intelligence that would displace any natural person in their productions. So basically, if you use AI, then you don't get this tax break.
And I know that, like in the last episode, I totally went off on DeSantis. I called him a loser, and because he is, this guy's a freaking clown. But again, I go after Democrats the same way, and this AI thing is going to be huge, and it's funny. What's funny about it is everyone thought AI would start off in like when we talk about big issues, would start off in like manufacturing and tech and all these industries.
But it's in art now.
Start off in that's the first.
Oh, that's where it
the
started.
first thing. The first issues, right?
Oh,
the first course
yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking about, the military or tech, or they're going to do this and they're going to replace. No. Actors. Now, and the reason I'm bringing this up from a kind of a political angle is because, I go after Republicans when they do stupid stuff or when they have conundrums. This is going to be a conundrum for the Democrats because the Democrats are super Hollywood friendly, but like the Democrats that are like actually elected, the Biden, Pelosi people, they are
the establishment.
They're also super corporate.
Yeah,
they actually call them corporate Democrats. So who are they going to side with? Artists who they say they love and they use for all these
I think the
diversity and inclusion stuff.
The Bernie Democrats
and all this
will
stuff.
support artists, but I think
I think the Bernie Democrats they'll just support labor. Period.
Labor, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that a lot of the Democrats in Washington and at the state level, even like Newsom, they talk a big game, when it comes to like workers' rights and stuff
during this thing.
Yeah.
Because they're establishment Democrats.
But when it comes to actual legislation that could hurt big business and hurt their donors, because is he really friends with Hollywood or is he friends with Hollywood execs? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And New York is a big TV radio town, and California is a big movie TV town, state, not town. So this is going to hit them first, and the Democrats are going to have to choose. Are we going to side with labor that we say we support?
Yeah.
Or are we going to side with our corporate buddies that we know we support? And I think it's going to be fun to watch because it's going to be there's going to be a split in the Democratic Party. Yeah, the AOCs and stuff are always going to side with labor, but believe it or not, AOC people, they don't really have a lot of power. There's only like 5 of her in Congress. You know what I mean?
Just socially popular.
Yeah.
Right?
And they're in protected districts.
Yeah.
So it's easy to if everybody in your district kind of agrees, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC are kind of in the same type of districts. They can be as radical on each end of the spectrum as they want because the people in their district are going to ride or die with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's harder when you're in like a swing
sort
district.
of the middle,
because then you can't be radical.
Right.
If your district's not radical. So it's going to be interesting to see. And there's this meme that I think I might post it. And it's funny because it shows, I actually put it to our, do it in a story. It says, in the 90s, we thought, this woman would be the one to stand up against the robots. And it shows like a picture of Sarah Connor and she's all ripped.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was this woman. It's a picture of the nanny. Because Fran Drescher's the one who's actually standing up against AI.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty funny comparison. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I never thought, as much as I was a proponent of AI, this was more like you said, in the tech world, in the business world. Yeah. Not in the art world, but it looks like this is the forefront of it now.
Yep, that's the forefront.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be
but
very
then it gives
interesting how it happened.
The negative, like inhumane kind of thing. So it gives it this negative sour taste. And now in using it in the corporate world, I can't even use that word, like when I'm trying to pitch some automation. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, great. Now it has like this, mark on it. It's a bad word. So, yeah, it's weird. It's like,
yeah.
I thought innovation was cool, but I guess not.
No, because it's the same thing that we would argue about on past podcasts. It's like, dude, when you talk AI, someone's losing a job, period.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that can be avoided, but that's just the reality of it. And so the question is, how many jobs are you willing to lose before you say no AI? But I don't think you can get to that point because once something's invented, we're in a competitive world. Mm-hmm. So even if all of the United States, for some reason, was like, no AI, China's not going to say no AI.
Yeah.
Japan's not going to say no AI. So then what? Do we just let all these other countries, use it?
Hot
and,
technology and not us?
Yeah. So, it's going to be, I think what they're really afraid of is the steps that you need to take because of AI, which is the type of things that Andrew Yang was warning about. It's like, you might need to have UBI. You might need to have better social, if we were a country that's like Holland, AI doesn't really matter because most of the stuff's taken care of by the government anyway. So even if it took your job, it's like, okay, well,
Andrew Yang did warn us about this 4 years ago.
Yeah. And I think most Americans, well, not most Americans, but I would say a lot of Americans don't want to give I guess it is more power, but depend on the government more. Mm-hmm. And they don't want more social infrastructure. So, but at the same time, they like AI. Mm-hmm. So you got to make a choice. It's going to be interesting, though. I bring out the popcorn because it's going to get interesting. Because California's going to have a bill next. I guarantee it.
Yeah. But yes, Disney and NBC Universal are monitoring this bill and having lobbyists, follow.
And here's the thing, like, how do you defend that, right, in public? Like when you go and try the corporations, how do you, you have to be, and this is going to be one of Johnny's things, Johnny's like, just don't lie to me, you know? Like, how do you go out and say, well, I'm against this bill that, would save jobs by not using AI in certain positions because I want to make money more than I care about jobs. I mean, that's really the truth, right?
Yeah.
But how do you articulate that in a way that still makes you
Well, I
sound
think
friendly?
they can look for some technicality in the bill and be like, it's the same function. Why can't I get a tax break for this and not that? Depends on how the bill's written, and they'll just tear it apart.
And then I would say, like, from a libertarian standpoint, why should you be getting tax breaks at all?
Mm.
You know what I mean? You could argue that point too. It's like, you're a company. If we're really a meritocracy, you don't need a tax break.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, there's so many. I mean, think about, like, especially with New York. Every cop show seems to be in New York. Even if it's like about Chicago, it's probably filmed in New York, or Canada or something. But and I think that's like almost how many, like, Daredevil, like how many shows are filmed in New York,
Right.
or have studios in New York.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like now. I would say they're going to use the same argument as when AOC kind of blocked Amazon from coming to New York. They're going to say, well, if we don't give them tax breaks for New York, they're just going to go to some other state or some other country.
Right.
And so now we just lost the business. That's the conservative argument to that. It's not even a conservative argument. It's just kind of like a supply and demand type argument.
Yeah.
But we'll see what they do.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, that's it for headlines. I have a lot of dot points later on.
Well, let's talk about some food.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
All right. We'll talk about the mediocre taste talk. The mediocre shawarmitza.
I thought it was good.
I liked that the sausage was big. And, but it sold as a pizza, shawarma pizza. So it's supposed to have, in addition to the Italian sausage, it was supposed to have pepperoni, mozzarella, pepperoncinis, wrapped in a garlic parmesan wrap, which was fine, with marinara sauce.
Okay. And then,
So
but didn't it have that, or didn't it? Because I tasted, that's like what it had.
No, it tasted like, somebody said, like a Ronto wrap.
Yeah.
Because it was just the sausage and the wrap, which tastes good together, but I wanted it cheesy and saucy and pepperoni, and there wasn't any pepperoni. There was like one little.
So I don't know if you got a
broken-
bad batch.
I think I got a bad batch because it's wrapped in foil, so you can't see what they give you until you already bought it and sat down.
You might have to try it again. I don't
No,
know.
I don't want to try it again.
I'm going to buy it again. I'll buy it for
Anyways.
someone else.
I mean, otherwise it didn't taste bad. It's just disappointing.
See, that's weird because to me it was like, it was big
Yeah, it was big.
and it was
a lot of
filling.
meat.
And to me, I was just like, yeah, that was value. I couldn't eat the whole thing if I had to. So
Yeah, it was hearty
yeah,
for sure. It just
like I was gonna give
Could
it
be
like I
heartier.
was gonna give it like a 7.5. What do you
taste wise, yeah, maybe 6. Appearance 3.
Who cares about the appearance? I mean, I guess that is part of food presentation at Disney.
Yeah,
but,
presentation.
but I don't know.
Anyways, I can make that at home. If you want it, I'll make it for you. The other, so since this one was blah, the pretty thing I posted was Ursula's Revenge, but it wasn't the one from Lamplight Lounge. Lamplight Lounge has a cocktail called Ursula's Revenge on their secret menu, but this is from our local coffee shop, and it's basically like a color-changing passion fruit lemonade. So passion fruit tea with lemonade, and the lemonade is in the test tube, so you pour it in and then you drink it. So it was cool,
Yeah,
purple and pretty and refreshing.
that tastes good.
Mhm.
It was one. What would you give it out of 10?
8.5.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll probably give
Nice
it
and refreshing,
an 8.
Yeah.
7.5, 8.
and it's pretty.
Cool. So it's time to rate some bathrooms.
We are? I thought we're going into Dow Points and then Indiana Jones.
Well,
We're
I
right
wanna-
bathrooms. Okay, we can bring
because I'm going to talk about the bathrooms that I've tried since the last time I read.
best bathrooms at Disneyland Resort,
So
besides the one in your hotel room.
still, I don't know once San Francisco's finished if their bathrooms are going to look different on the inside because we haven't been there
Oh yeah.
since they started. I think they're open, but I just haven't been in one.
I think it'll look the same because it was
Probably.
probably more crowded now that area is a little bit more crowded because of the new stuff.
Still, my number one bathroom. Well, should I go from 5 to 1?
I guess.
Okay. So my 5th best is new, and that's in the new Paradise Pier bathrooms.
Oh, the lobby.
And yeah,
Okay.
that was cool. You can see some like characters and they.
Oh,
and
I
it's
haven't
just-
been in.
Well, yeah, it's pretty cool, and so I just like it. Now maybe it's because they're still not full capacity and it wasn't crowded.
Hmm.
But hotel lobby bathrooms usually aren't crowded unless they're like on
Yeah.
a busy street or something.
Yeah.
So that's my new 5th best.
Hmm.
I would say number 4 is probably. You know what? It's probably in the ones in Galaxy's Edge
Oh yeah.
because
Is the
the-
men's one with has the shared sink too?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think one it keeps the theming,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also pretty big. So they built it large, so
Yeah.
like it can accommodate a lot of people. And I think that's the problem with some of the ones, like the ones near the entrance. Not the entrance, but when you first walk in near
Yeah,
City
both
Hall
parks.
and stuff.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are always going to be crowded and they're small. It's like the
Yeah.
ones that the first ones that people see when they get into the parks are the smallest.
Yeah.
So
And those are the ones that are
Yeah.
the most crowded because it's the
Mhm.
first one people see when they walk in the parks.
So that's 4, right? My 3rd favorite is actually the ones outside Space Mountain.
Really?
Just because it's convenient. It's
Yeah.
like usually, and I think it's almost like a gift shop.
Uh-huh.
Like, Space Mountain doesn't have a gift shop when you come out. Like
It has a
everything else
bathroom.
has a bathroom. That could be the greatest gift of all. You're on this crazy ride, and usually, especially for the people, and we usually do Lightning Lane for most of those types of
Mhm.
rides. But if you're somebody who's like Hyperspace Mountain opens up, but you standing in a 120-minute line,
Mm-hmm.
you want a bathroom when you get off of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, so that's my 3rd. And then, of course, my 2nd is always the ones in the milieu on either side. So
Oh, the Esplanade.
in the Esplanade, just because they're so convenient.
Yeah, there's convenient, and a lot of people don't think to go to the bathroom before they enter the gate. They enter the gate, then go to the bathroom. That's why
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the ones after the gate are crowded. But if you just go before you go through the gate, there's nobody there.
Mhm. And my first one remains the same, the one that's right by Salt and Straw.
Oh, Downtown Disney.
In that little alley, and it's just like when you're walking from the bridge in the morning, it is just super. Well, all the
Well,
bathrooms are
that's
super
if
clean in
you're
the morning.
going through Downtown Disney.
But even here's the thing, though, it's almost a secret bathroom because it's hard to see the sign.
Mm-hmm.
But even like during dinner time, where everyone's going to Naples and rushing
Mhm.
around and doing all their stuff,
Mhm.
it's still empty
Yeah.
because people don't know it's there.
yeah.
And you get this medium-sized bathroom, pretty
Yeah.
much just you and one other person.
Yeah.
and for some reason they clean it a lot because it's in downtown Disney.
Yeah.
So they clean it more, I think, than even the bathrooms that are inside the parks.
Yep.
So that's still my number 1 favorite.
Well, my honorable mention one
Mm-hmm.
is everybody's is the Alice in Wonderland one, because inside there's those
As far as
spades and
appearance,
cards.
yeah.
Appearance. But yes, it is a crowded one because it's in
Mhm.
Fantasyland.
I go from like I think my category is like is it always crowded?
Mm-hmm.
Like especially for women.
Yeah.
Like if you got to stand in line, it's kind of like defeats the purpose of being a restroom. It's a stress room, right? I want restrooms, not stress rooms.
I like the hidden ones at Paradise Pier. I
Yeah.
mean, not Paradise Pier, Paradise Garden. There's a hidden one.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Kinda
hidden,
hidden.
but it's
We just like hidden bathrooms because if it's hidden, it's not crowded. The Indiana Jones ones, forget it. You know?
don't know over there, like in
Yeah.
Adventureland. Yeah, those are. There's always like people waiting out, and then you're waiting out there by where people are supposed to stand in line for the freaking
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip. It's like, and there's all these dudes waiting. And the reason I always, to me, is I judge it by how long does a woman have to wait. Because a guy is just like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to wait for you, it's not a good bathroom. How long do I have to stand here against something that's not supposed to be leaned on? Because there's 10 people in front of you trying to get into a small bathroom. So, all right. Now.
So, did anyone see the Loki trailer? That
you
looks
asking me?
interesting.
Yes, I saw it.
No, I'm just asking in the ether out there. No answer necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks good. I don't know. I think there's a lot of Loki fans. It's
Yes.
from the first season, and I think it's going to be. Again, we still haven't gotten to the bottom of all the Jonathan Major stuff, so hopefully that works out okay. Hopefully,
For now, he is still king.
yeah. For now, we'll see. But the trailer it appears interesting. I don't know how they're going to explain it, but I'll tell you what. The one thing that I think is being geniusly done is what they appear to be doing with Deadpool, because Deadpool is going to be at least the first Marvel movie
Mm-hmm.
that has the TVA in it, and they're going to be dealing with all the stuff. And what I think, because Ryan Reynolds is really involved with the writing, like Deadpool is going to be a lesson to Marvel execs, in my opinion. Why is that? I said, how most people haven't gotten over Endgame. Like, they still want their another Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't get another Endgame, the second thing people want is connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool has always done that.
Yeah.
It's just that he couldn't do it in Marvel
MCU.
or MCU because he was with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's in the MCU, he's already doing it. They're like their first movie out, boom. How long has it been since Loki? Like 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no TVA in any other shows. This is supposed to be the big bad.
Yeah, because we thought that after season 1 of Loki, that No Way Home would somehow connect.
Yeah.
But nothing, right? No mention.
They brought
of
in
TVA.
like the universe, the multiverse, and all this stuff.
Yeah, we thought multiverse meant.
But they're
branch.
making you put the dots together yourself.
Yeah.
And then and they have the theory shows, and they're doing on YouTube and all
Yeah.
this. Like, do it yourself. This is your stuff. Like, this
Yeah,
is
they
your
didn't
big
connect
bump.
it.
That's what people. That's the one thing. I always say that the biggest asset of Disney is its branding. The biggest thing about Marvel is its connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And how it connects to everything else. And that's why you want to watch this thing, because it connects to this, it connects to that. And they're making these like anthology things and these one-offs. And it's not that all of them are bad. You know what I mean? I've enjoyed almost that. There's none of them that I hated, right? But like, let's start building the story. Like there's supposed to be a grand plan to this.
Yeah.
And when it looks like there's not a plan, then you fall into like, the Neo Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, the Star Wars.
It's like there's no plan. Now they're saying they have a plan, and we'll see. But and I think Filoni does have a plan, and hopefully Ahsoka redeems a lot of the stuff that that happens, and which is coming out this month. But at the same time, yes, Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is going to do more Marvel MCU connectivity than all the other Phase 4. Well, it's not Phase 4, but everything in Phase 4 and the beginning stuff of Phase 5 have done. Now, we haven't seen the Marvels yet, so I can't say that they're not doing it. But going on what we've seen already, I don't think they will.
Well, Miss Marvel kind of connected. I mean, the Marvels connected Miss Marvel. I guess.
I guess it they're connected
And
characters.
WandaVision characters.
But how does it connect to the overarching plot
Yeah.
of the MCU right now? Because you have to understand. Well, no, you don't have to understand. You do understand. They've already announced the two big movies that
Yes.
which is the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Right.
So if they're not talking about Kang or incursions, Kang mostly though,
Mhm.
because it's leading into Secret Wars. In almost every movie, at least every other movie, or at least every other show, like, what are you doing? You already announced it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes it seem like, well, we're just making these characters, and then they'll show up. But it's like, well, I don't care if they show up. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it would be like announcing like not having the Infinity Gems in any of the movies or talking about it leading up to it, and then all these characters just show up and get snapped, and it's like, well, yeah, that's sad, but I mean, why would I, they wouldn't even know what's coming or
Yeah.
anything, So I don't know. But the fact that Ryan Reynolds understands this,
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to make the X-Men movies connect with his Deadpool movie
Mhm.
that took years for him to get made,
Mhm.
and he finally got it made. He had to do his own promotion to get it made.
Mhm.
He wanted to play Deadpool, and then when he finally got it made, he made the X-Men universe relevant
Mhm.
and made all the jokes and all the stuff, and even the talking, the fourth wall breaks and all this stuff. And now he could do it on the big stage, and he's already doing it. It's going to be the first movie that actually connects everything. And a matter of fact, you know how they prune universes in Loki?
Mhm.
Basically, what it looks like he's doing is he's going to show that the TVA pruned the Fox universe.
Mm.
Now, see, why can't you do that, Kevin?
So there's no mutants.
That's writing. That's
Yeah.
writing, and it brings the mutants in because now he's showing how the mutants will get into that. Like, what is it? Do we have to wait for Ryan Reynolds to do everything? Is that what it is?
Well, we thought that the mutants after Endgame, because the snap caused the weird tremors or whatever,
Yeah.
and we thought that created mutants, and
Yeah,
how
that would have been a
would
good
they
way.
bring the X mutants
But
in?
they didn't do it.
But they didn't. They went with this multiverse.
Yeah, which
thing.
is fine. I don't care what your plan is as long as you have a plan. And that's all I'm saying. And it's like right now, I think they have a plan, but they have all these little one-off things. And again, they're shooting themselves in the foot, I think, because when you come out with I take that back. Quantum Mania did connect, right? It had
Kang.
actual Kang in
yeah.
it. But everything else, I mean, and Spider-Man is just good, right? Spider-Man movies are typically just high quality, good movies. So they
And
had
it
that
connected
one.
with WandaVision, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like all the shows, like what's Moon Knight doing? I don't know what he's doing right
Yeah.
now.
What is
I don't know. I have no idea.
like? Is he hanging out with that Werewolf by Night dude?
Yeah, what's
like,
what
what's
are they doing? Is he-
Because it seems like the same
Yeah.
pictures, kind of.
They had what are the Eternals doing? They're gone.
Nothing.
They're just like all
It's like
right.
the joke is like there's this giant what's it called?
Celestial.
Yeah, there's this giant celestial sticking out of Earth, and nobody seems to notice.
Yeah. You know what his
In
name
all
is?
these movies.
His name is MCU Plotline. It's like no one knows what he's doing there. We don't know. We're not doing
But
anything
he's
with
just
it.
sticking
But he's-
out
Exactly.
of the Earth.
That is a physical representation of Phase 4 and 5 right now. You have this giant thing out there that everyone who's not in the movies, all the audience knows is there, but no one's talking
Everyone
about
on
it in
Earth
the movies.
should know it's there.
Everybody who's actually in that world, in that universe, is just kind of like, I don't see none. What you talking about?
You know what it is? It's the Palpatine of the MCU. Somehow Palpatine came back, and somehow this celestial sticking out of Earth.
Somehow-
216 or whatever.
Somehow
this
there's a
Earth
giant
is.
robot sticking out of the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, of Earth. What is it? 616.
616.
Yeah.
Apparently. That's the comic universe. That was even wrong. That wasn't 616, but whatever. That's just my critique. But Ryan Reynolds we trust. So thank you, Mr. Canada. All right. What do we got next?
We have sad news. Murphy the Dragon is not coming back
Ever?
to Fantasmic.
Ever?
So
Forever,
the
ever?
finale will still be between Maleficent and Mickey,
Yeah.
but no Murphy the Dragon. They're going to come up with a new finale. Fantasmic is returning in 2024 with something new and exciting, but no dragon.
Man,
No fire-breathing dragon.
chickened out. Chickened out, man.
Does that mean no fire at World of Color either?
Probably.
Like no fire period at Disneyland?
It's like, I don't know. It's how pit bulls used to get treated in the 90s. It's not the species, it's the owner.
Yeah.
And if you guys can't train your dragon, then get somebody who can. I like the dragon.
No dragons.
Yeah. All right.
So that's that. But at Disney World, they're getting the Hatbox Ghost at their Haunted Mansion later this year.
Yay.
So we've gotten ours since, 2000 something?
No, way before that.
Oh, the 90s? I thought we
Way
just
before
recently
that.
got it in 2000.
No. Mm-mm.
Because the 90s, something happened and it broke and they hired somebody else.
That wasn't
and-
the 90s. That was like the 80s, the 70s. I mean, it was a long time ago.
But it wasn't when Haunted Mansion first opened.
No, but it was the people who are working on it. Some of them are deceased. So
Oh.
it's like, yeah,
Anyways, so
they joined in the
I thought it was-
999.
they redid it recently, but who knows?
Wow.
Yeah, we have to re-listen to Johnny's episode on the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then also what another new thing Disney World's getting is an all-new interactive experience at the Magic Kingdom called Smellephants on Parade. It's a search and sniff kind of adventure in Storybook Circle. Presented by Scentsy. You know the
Yeah.
Scentsy, the scenting company or whatever. The official home fragrance of Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for
Until somebody gets
relevant
allergic.
details. Get it? Relevant.
That was the dad joke video I posted.
Well, that's what it says on the Disney
Oh,
website.
great.
And then outside of Tiana's Palace is revealed and slated to open the end of this year.
Mm,
So that's exciting.
that'd be cool.
Oh, so there is confirmation that Rogers the Musical will end
Mm-hmm.
August 31st. That's the last day.
Yeah.
So I think this is just, there's a casting call for a jazz pianist portraying Joe Gardner from Soul.
Hmm.
So is it that something like that
Gonna replace.
will be in the Hyperion now? Like, are they just doing like different shows every season?
Maybe.
But we thought it was kind of weird that why would you do all this for just 2 months for Rogers? But oh well.
Well, Soul's probably gonna be a smaller cast if they do it, so it'll probably be cheaper.
Unless they're putting that in that. No, but that's not Pixar. I was going to say that maybe they're putting it in the Golden Horseshoe where the piano player is.
Yeah.
But that's not Pixar. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking
they
if it's
wouldn't do it
Pixar, it's
there.
going to be in DCA.
The wrong theming.
Yeah. Also, former Steakhouse 55 at the Disneyland Hotel is being converted into a flexible lounge space,
Nice.
which will sometimes operate as an extension of a seasonal bar.
Perfect.
So Steakhouse 55 is
My
not
two
coming
favorite
back.
things: lounging and being at a bar.
And then I just saw this today. I didn't understand it, but I guess for card traders, it's Disney Lorcana
Mhm.
debuted at Gen Con in Indianapolis, and it caused a mob because conventions in other places don't know how crazy Disney fans are. So they had debuted this Disney Lorcana thing at this con, and they didn't expect a huge crowd, and that's what happened. And I think it has to do with trading cards or something.
Yeah.
It's their trading game.
Mm.
but-
Sometimes those cards, especially if they think that those cards could be worth something someday, yeah, that'll cause a mob.
Yeah,
And it's usually it's not the kids; it's going to be guys in their
adults.
40s,
Yeah.
big beer bellies, knocking over kids.
And then finally, Scott Gustin, good old Scott Gustin, announced that the dining reservation app system is changing. So right now, when you go to dining, you have to select breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or an actual time slot to see what's available. So now, when you search for dining, the restaurant will just display all the times available. So you
Right.
don't have to search. You just look at all the times and pick one.
You mean that Disney's taking a book out of Open Table that's been around for 20 years?
Yes.
Get Disney tech.
This is exciting for this. I don't have to click 2-3 buttons to get to my. But yes, that's the change they're going to make. They haven't made it yet, but they're going to make it, I guess. I don't know.
Yay.
Or maybe I just need to
that's
update the app.
progress. Yeah. All right. So now we are going to get into Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So those of you who don't want to be spoiled and double spoiled, because we always give away a gift with our spoiler reviews, you can cut out when you hear the chimes. Okay. So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Don't say you don't remember. You do.
No, I'm trying to remember. I watch like so many movies.
She watches
since
a
then.
movie a night now. I got her a new iPad, and then she just sits in the living
And
room.
I only like to watch old 80s and 90s action movies.
Yeah.
And some comedies, but
You know, I kind
Blockbusters.
of wish that we had iPads and stuff in like, you know, some streaming services for, you know, our grandparents when they were alive.
yeah.
I think they really would have enjoyed just watching old movies like on
Yeah.
their couch and scrolling through it. It really is for old people, and you kind of act like an old person, but it's
I
pretty
like
cool.
old blockbuster movies, like
Yeah.
Die Hard and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'll watch those things over and over and over.
So,
Anyways, I'm trying to remember. Okay.
So Indiana
Oh,
Jones
yeah.
and the Dial of
Okay.
Destiny. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think it was a good movie,
Mhm.
but I don't think it needed to be made. I mean, and what I mean by that is like there's nothing wrong with the movie.
Mhm.
There's nothing that I think like if they would have put it on Disney Plus, it would have been just a really expensive Disney Plus movie,
Mhm.
you know. But that's where most people are gonna probably watch it. You know, it didn't do that great at the box office.
Mhm.
And it's so far removed from the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes, there have been some movies in between, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is what really it was the franchise, right? It's like the original trilogy of Star Wars, right?
Mhm.
And then you have, you know, Temple of Doom, which I didn't think was that great, but it, you know, it has its place in history. And then The Last Crusade, you know, and then they had the Crystal Skull, that's the Shia LaBeouf one.
Mhm.
And then now they have this one, and I'm just like, I guess it's kind of cool for the legacy of Harrison Ford,
Mhm.
you know, and the legacy of Indiana Jones in the sense that they have, you know, one piece of one more thing to add to the Disney archives.
Mhm.
And they probably thought that, and I think the thinking is that because it used to belong to just Lucasfilms,
Mhm.
and if we're gonna buy Lucasfilms, we better make an Indiana Jones movie.
Mm.
So I think that's the thinking of it,
Mhm.
right? We have an Indiana Jones ride, and also the way Disney markets movies. Because I think we gave a whole speech about streaming and the writer's strike and the actor's strike. One of the things that Disney has that Netflix and the other streaming services don't is that they found ways to monetize content outside of the movies and television. So if you have like a movie or MCU shows, they own the merchandising for that.
Mhm.
And not only can they do the merchandising, they drive people to the parks.
Mhm.
And then they theme things. And then, so they're monetizing, they're using their IP in multiple mediums,
Mhm.
not just digital, you know, not just something you can watch and then you forget about,
Yeah.
right? Other studios that make content can't do that. They don't have theme parks. They don't have these huge stores. They don't have cruises. They don't have hotels. So I think, you know, Disney Plus, if there's any streaming services that are going to be around in the future, one of them is going to be Disney Plus because they can use that content everywhere. I mean, there's Moon Knight and freaking Avengers Campus. And like, there's lots of people who don't even know who Moon Knight is still. And yet they can still use them. So And I think this is kind of the thinking around Indiana Jones. Yeah, it kind of took a bath at the box office, but at least this last movie, not Indiana Jones, the whole series, but they're going to be able to monetize it. They might even be able to add things to the ride in the future if they want to. And I would have to say, though, as a film, so they started off, it was a good cap to the series.
Yeah.
And I would also say that if anything, as an Indiana Jones fan, I'm glad the Crystal Skull wasn't the last movie. I'm glad this is a better ending to the series than that was.
Mm-hmm.
So that part I'm happy with. They did do their de-aging technology is amazing now.
Mm-hmm.
It really looks like young Harrison Ford in that movie. Nothing weird, really. I couldn't really spot anything, or at least I didn't notice. Right? Maybe when we watch it in 4K on our TV, and we're sitting right in front of it, maybe we'll see something. But on the movies, nothing. It was perfect. The storyline was good. Mm-hmm. It was solid, and I think that some of the things that I think were missing. It's hard to explain. So basically it starts off, they're trying to get, again, Nazis. And again, I like the fact that they use the Nazis. That's his main
Yeah,
nemesis.
I rewatched. You told me to rewatch 3 of them or just 2 of them or something. Only the Nazi ones.
Yeah.
So basically the first one.
And the third.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I rewatched. And then I'm glad I did because the Dial of Destiny one does have references and
characters. If you watch the first, the third, and then the 5th, that was just Dial of Destiny, then you are that is to me the trilogy.
Yeah.
Because they all flow together.
Right.
And it's all World War II, and then it led up into, I believe, the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool, and they had a lot of cool things, a lot of cool fight scenes. Mikkelsen, yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
And had some time travel at the end.
Oh yeah.
They went back and.
Oh yeah, that was freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
kind of cool. He wanted to stay in the past, and so it was the Battle of Syracuse. He wanted to stay there. Let me die. Let me be part of history. No. There's lots of things that belong in a museum, not you. And it ended with him with the original girl, and they had gotten divorced because his son died in Vietnam, and that tore them apart. Yeah, I think it was good. I guess what it was missing is kind of we saw one movie after that, which was the Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you remember both of them had train scenes?
Yes.
Now, think how you felt like when I'm going to do a little bit spoiler alert of Mission Impossible. When the train in Mission Impossible was falling off the bridge.
Yeah.
And they used practical effects because of the actual gravity and what you would have to do and jump from one thing as the train cars are falling.
Yeah.
Like how you're on the edge of your seat and your heart starts beating.
Yeah.
None of that was in Indiana Jones, that feeling.
Oh.
That's what we were missing in Indiana Jones. Because in the first movie, when you first saw it in the theaters, you had that feeling. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, what's going to happen now? And da-da-da-da-da. And, oh, my God. And they got him. And is he going to eat the poison date? It's like there was all these things to where you were just kind of like on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
But they were also part of the story. It wasn't just for effect. It was part of the story. Like that one scene in Mission Impossible beat everything in the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
And I think and Indiana Jones is an action adventure.
Yeah, that was missing. The stuff of because when I rewatched before, I could remember there's a lot of things like, oh my God, is he gonna make it? He's gonna, things like that. But you're right. That was missing in the last film.
And I think so. The Dial of Destiny it didn't have the emotional punch of the originals, but it wasn't like they didn't try. It wasn't like there wasn't any action because sometimes you go to an action movie and you expect action and there's not that much.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the way it is. There's plenty of action in this
Mhm.
movie. There was plenty of sneaking around, and there's plenty of intrigue, and there was plenty of stuff. But it just didn't pay off the way it did in the first few,
Yeah.
and that's what made it good. Those first few good.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was just like a standalone movie, it would have been good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I give the movie itself a 6,
Mhm.
6.5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm comparing it to like the original,
others.
the
Yeah.
others. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm, when you put it, if you were to put them all together,
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it a higher score.
Yeah.
If it was like, if you look at it as one long movie,
Mm-hmm.
it by itself probably 6.5.
Mm.
But a 6.5, that's still good. I mean, it's still like when you see like a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Mm-hmm.
that means 60% of the critics enjoyed it, or 60% of the audience enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a grade on a test in school. It's not like that's a D, you know?
Right.
So when I give something a 6, it's like, yeah, you know,
That's more than the majority.
yeah, it's not a failure,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But the original, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, was a 10.
Mm.
So you have a lot to live up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot to live up to. So, yes. Did I like it? Yes. Do you need to see it in the theaters? No. Wait for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you will enjoy it actually more on Disney Plus, knowing that you didn't pay extra money for it. Because I think honestly, we're going to probably watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be more fun.
Right.
You know, it's going to be like, yeah, you know. But if you do see it in the theater, it's not a waste of money.
Right. Right.
You know, it's good. You're not going to, but if you're expecting that same feeling, especially people who are my age, who are Gen Xers,
Mm-hmm.
if you're expecting that same feeling you had when you saw the original Raiders, lower your expectations.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that he still looked pretty in good shape as an old man. Like he had an old
Yeah.
man. He still had the wrinkles and everything, but he still had his shirt off and was still looked like he works out, you know?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they kind of incorporated
Hey, he's the next Red Hulk or
the
whatever.
the CIA and stuff in the
Oh, yeah.
70s and the protest movement, and he's kind of a professor. And I did like the fact that it showed him, you know, what does a retired Indiana Jones look like?
Mm.
You know, that
Like
was
the
pretty
reality
cool.
of it.
The
Yeah.
reality of it.
He's
you know?
not in some museum curating anything. He's just.
He's
No,
not
I
a
don't even
national
think
hero.
he's a professor. He's like high school teacher or something, right?
I think he might have been college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like City College or something.
Yeah. And I think, and he's the thing is that we all know all the stuff that he's done,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not a national hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like people really don't know who he is,
Yeah.
you know. And then it's kind of like when they look up his files, they're like, oh, okay, I guess he is somebody. But yeah, that was kind of cool. Salah's in it. Salah's always good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Salah. We have these amazing instruments on your seat. Strap yourself in. Don't look into the eyes of the idol.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. It was a good movie, and I left feeling in a good mood,
Mhm.
but I didn't leave excited. Like I needed to talk about this on the way home,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Right.
So, yeah, 6. No, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. 6.5 out of 10. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7.
The
I know
more
I
you
keep
talk
going
about
up.
it.
The more I talk about it, because they did it right. They
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong.
Right. They just didn't have that punch
Yeah,
you were talking about.
and you know, and sometimes those punches are just magical, and it's hard to recreate.
Yeah.
You know, so they would actually have to do new stuff to get like a punch out of me now.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Stuff that they did. I think they tried the stuff they did before a little bit, and it's just like we've already had 30 years of this. You know, kind of. You know, people imitating Indiana Jones, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have like the John Wick type of action, and then you have all this stuff. So our dopamine system is we need something higher.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's just human nature.
Right. Right.
So they probably should have tried some new stuff. But then if they would have went with new stuff, they could have went way off track and they'd be like, this isn't an Indiana Jones film.
Right,
and so,
right.
Yeah, so I
They
understand.
couldn't do Mission Impossible type stuff.
Right.
Because, like, Tom Cruise always, like, ups the ante. Like, this one
Yeah.
is jumping off freaking mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was. And that wouldn't even fit with the Indiana Jones
Yeah.
theme. So, yeah, I get it. You know,
Indy's known to punch people and stuff like
it
that.
was definitely an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
So you will not be disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people go see a Star Wars movie or watch a Star Wars show and be like, this isn't Star Wars. No, you're going to see this. You're going to be like, no, this is definitely Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. You're not going to be disappointed. All right. So, as I said, we're going to spoil you and spoil you twice because for every spoiler review we do a giveaway. We already posted what the giveaway is.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
an
reshare it so that people remember.
It's an Indiana Jones print from Trends International. And all you have to do is the same thing with our regular giveaways. You just direct message us a message to Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. And the message you have to give us is simple. It belongs in a museum. And hopefully that is all they're going to do as far as Indiana Jones. I hope they don't try to recast him and everything. Indiana Jones, the series, belongs in a museum. It is historical.
It's history.
It's history. It's history, but it's important history that people
Yeah.
should remember. People should rewatch. People should let their grandkids watch.
Yeah, don't remake it. Don't do anything.
Don't remake. I don't want to see an Indiana Jones remake. You know, with freaking
in 5 years with somebody else,
You know, yeah. You know,
with like John Statham or something. I don't
yeah.
know. Is he old?
Henry Styles or something. It's like,
Oh yeah, Henry Styles. That's more like it.
Yeah, I don't
John
wanna-
Statham's old.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. So, no,
Just leave it.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You capped it off. You capped it off well. You know, I wish it would have done better at the box office. It didn't, but it's a good cap to a very great series, historical series. So just message us. It belongs in the museum. And that's it. All right. So we'll be back next week. Don't forget the wallet giveaway. We will be at the parks on Saturday.
Yes.
And it's going to be hot from what they're saying. So we'll be at Paradise Pier. So if you see us at Paradise Pier, you still get a chance for that wallet. We'll be taking pictures, man. Hopefully I could picture to be the one day it rains or something. It's not in the forecast. But I really want to take pictures of the pool for you guys.
Oh
So,
yes, yes.
But that's it for us this week. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.